Hello everybody and welcome back to another Starcraft II video by Konungr. And you are never going to believe what I just did. I just recorded this video, watched the replay and everything, gave the whole commentary, got to the end, went to go close out the replay, happened to look at my other monitor and realized that I never took the wallpaper off of OBS. Because with open broadcasting software, I have up several different... I have two monitors, and I always have like 12 programs running. Well, with my open broadcaster software, which is what I use to record, I have several different things. Like, there's the Windows Media Player for whenever I'm watching anything, and what have you. So you'll see it, there we go, there's that. We also have for the video, so you can actually watch movies whenever I'm streaming. There's the for when I'm streaming. There's the BRB message that I'll use, like if I'm streaming I'll go ahead and say, hey, I'll be back in 5 minutes. My monitor 1, so I can show people stuff on Mozilla. Wallpaper 2, the wallpaper itself, and then of course the StarCraft screen. So I just recorded that entire video with commentary, never took off that. So let's go ahead and take that off now, and then we're going to go ahead and get into the game and watch this replay. So this is a Zerg versus Protoss, where I kind of did something unusual as far as my gameplay goes. Now, especially the past week or so, since right before I got into gold, I've been using a Roach opener, going for a MutaRoachHydra composition for just about every matchup, and running with it. Today I did something weird. I used a different unit. Actually, I used two different units, but one comes into the other. So anyways, we're doing our normal opener, doing our scouting thing. We see him pop in, we go ahead and look in. We don't see any production buildings, so we go ahead and pop out, and then we see, okay, there he is. I think it was a gateway. I went back to check. I checked on it. I don't remember what I saw. Anyways, go ahead and, with our normal opener, 13 pull, 15, 16 hatch, get up to our 16 minerals, start our gas chamber, get our 3 in gas, and we actually messed up a little bit on this one. We forgot to start our roach warren when we were supposed to. Or when I normally do, which is usually about in between 21 and 26 supply. Well, because we forgot to start it earlier, we decided that because we were floating so many minerals, whatever, we're going to go ahead and drone up the natural. So we go ahead and drone up the natural to 16 drones, and then we go ahead and get those roaches. We popped in our Overlord just a moment ago into his natural just to see what was going on. We did see he was chrono boosting on his gateway, so that was a big warning flag for us. Either he's a bad player or there's aggression coming. So we go ahead and get our third started, because we know we're going to need that here soon. We're also working on our lair, which just finished. We go ahead and get our 2 Evo chambers and our Hydralisk den down, as well as we start to get our third. And sure enough, there comes that somewhat of that aggression. He's walking around trying to take out some of my overlords, and we do see that stalker heavy army coming down. We start our Hydralisk. Now his mothership core, oh how much I hate that thing, does cause a little bit of problems, and boom, we didn't see this. This completely caught us by surprise. He managed to do a lot of damage with this. He took down a queen, he took down 12, 3, 15 drones. I think 16 drones by the time this is it. Nope, yep, 16 drones. So he did quite a bit of damage with that attack. Not necessarily on, well, he took down 2 queens, because his first attack on my third took down a queen over here as well. Didn't take down any drones, but he had that oracle in my natural, which I did not notice at all. I was worried more about the roach, or the stalker mothership core. Now, that's part of one of the problems. Well, not a problem, but simply an annoyance. The mothership core, oh god, how I hate that thing. A, Zerg has very few anti-air units early in the game. So, any kind of Stargate type play or the Mothership Core. Now, granted, 2 Queens will take down a Mothership Core fairly quickly, but even still, you have to have at least 2 Queens to do it. And I just don't like making extra Queens that if they're not for injecting or specifically for creep spreading. As you'll notice, whenever I open up the game, I immediately start with 3 Queens. 2 of them are for injecting, the third is for creep spreading until I create my third. As soon as I create my third, the creep tumors that I already have out are what I use to continue, unless I make another one for the 4th and the 5th bases, respectively, and they'll pop a couple of creep tumors on their way to going to inject on that base. But I don't build Queens strictly for attacking units. The Mothership Core is a minor annoyance. Just an annoyance. But anyways, he did manage to do quite a bit of damage with that attack, so I commended him on it. Good play. I honestly didn't see it coming. That was caught me by surprise. Anyways, we just finished with our 1-1. We're about to start our 2-2 here in just a moment. We got our Spire down, so we're start a few Mutalisks. There goes our 2-2. We're also getting our Hydra upgrades and what have you. We're also going to get a few upgrades for our Mutalisks. Now, we are going to make a mistake here a little bit later in the game, but as we know, most Protoss, what they're going to do is they're going to go for those Colossi. So, with him going for those Colossi, we immediately throw down some Corruptors, which, up until today, I haven't used Corruptors in months. Just don't use them. They're slow. Let's see. Hold on. Let's see. Let's compare a Corruptor. So, 15 to 22 versus 10, 13, 15, 14. Okay, so no, he's upgraded. So it was 9, 3, 1. So it's 12, 13 for the first attack. Then this goes to like 14 and a half. And then the next upgrade for attack gives them 15. They get 15 plus 22 against, and then 22 against massive. But they are kind of slow as far as their movement. Where's their movement? There's this 299 or 295, and those are at 4. So we don't really use them too much. But that's a mistake. I should have been using them a little bit more, because they are also armored. So from now on, we're going to be using our Corruptors. But anyways, back to the replay. Sorry, I kind of went off on a little bit of a tangent. But yeah, I haven't really used them too much in our previous games. Anyways, we do see starting a 4th, so we go ahead and start our 5th, get that up. We transition drones from the 1st down to the 4th so we don't get mined out. We don't want stale drones. And we go ahead and use some of these Corruptors to kind of keep poking in and out, trying to kill off some of those Phoenixes and see if we can't take out any of those Corruptors. We also go ahead and get down an Ultralisk Den because we've got the money and we're also at 200. We're continually getting out these Corruptors because we're trying to do as much damage to these Colossi before we actually engage in battle. We do manage to take out all but 2, and we go ahead and engage. We use our Hydralisk range to go out and take out most of this comp, and then we go ahead and push into his 4th, taking that out. While we're doing that, we'd also, I'm not sure, I didn't mention it, but we got out our Greater Spire. We canceled our +2 attack for air, and we got out our Greater Spire because we wanted to try Broodlords. Like I said, 2 different units this game. Now, this led me to a bit of an epiphany when I was recording this past time. Corruptors and Broodlords are absolutely phenomenal against Protoss. I remember when I played Protoss, anytime a Zerg had Broodlords, I silently cursed myself. Well, not silently. I cursed a lot about it. Because they're just the automatic AI targeting of a unit, if you don't have extraordinary micro, will automatically go to target the broodling because they're the ones that are attacking. So you have to constantly redirect. They also have quite a range on them. What's the range on these things? 9.5. So they have quite the range. Let's see if he has any units available. Okay, we're gonna backtrack just a little bit. We want to see the range of a stalker. Actually, rewind back to here. There we go. Where he has units of every type. Okay, so Phoenixes. Phoenixes have a range of 5, which I guess that won't really matter since. Wait for my. Where's my corruptors? Corruptor. There's the corruptors. Okay. Range on the corruptors is 6. So we do outrange the Phoenixes. And specifically, as far as the Broodlords go, they outrange Stalkers by a lot. Now granted, Tempest, if he gets out Tempest, which when I played Protoss, I used Tempest all the time. I love those things. They're Protoss flying siege tanks. They were perfect. Throw an Overseer in front of them a little bit, and what I do is, because I played a lot of air toss, I'd have mostly Tempest, about 10 Void Rays, about 10 Carriers. Void Rays in the front, Carriers slightly behind, and then I'd have the Tempest all in the back, and I'd have the Mothership Core right above them. All I'd be doing is for stealthing the Tempest, and the Tempest would just be firing from the back. As long as you got something to tank for them, Tempests are phenomenal. I loved them. Anyways, my tangent, my epiphany that I had when recording this the first time was that due to the nature of the Broodlords, the reason I don't get them very often is the same reason I don't get Lings or Ultralisks whenever I'm playing. It's because whenever I dedicate to one, I always do double Evo Chamber, and I get 1 armor and I get 1 attack, whether it's ranged or melee. So whenever I dedicate to one, I try not to use units that won't benefit from that upgrade, naturally. And I've been using RoachHydra, especially the past 2 weeks. Especially since I've got gold, I've been pretty much exclusively RoachHydra, with a few Lings in there just for mineral fodder, trying to get rid of some minerals. What I'm thinking about trying to do is, instead of doing the RoachHydra and just the constant throwing units at them, do similar to the first Protoss I played earlier, where he focused mainly on the heavy units. Lots of Colossi, lots of Archons, lots of Void Rays, and then had just a few units there for cannon fodder, the strong units of the race. For Zerg, Broodlords, Ultralisks, perhaps Infestors. So those are the 3 I'm thinking as far as gas using, and then Lings. Infestors to control, and basically hold the units in place while the Broodlords and the Ultralisk destroy everything, and the Lings to kind of swarm and distract the opponent. I think I'm going to try to do that. The only problem with that is until you get to Hive, because it'll be about the time that Hive finishes. Actually, I think Hive is required for Greater Spire. It is. So for 2 of the unit compositions in there, you're going to be waiting. You're going to be stuck on Ling, Corruptor, Infestor. So you have to play a very greedy, very quick macro game to get maxed out in order to do it. But I think I'm going to try that a couple of games, especially versus Protoss. Perhaps even against Terran and Zerg. So, anyways, it's been a pleasure, and I'll see you in the next one. And I'll let y'all know how this new build works.